Hey, welcome back to Learning Bee. Today we will deep dive into requirement gathering techniques. Let's start with requirement gathering techniques. To provide right solution or your customer satisfactions completely depend on the requirement which you gathered. When you know what your stakeholder is required, you can deliver them the right result. Understanding the pain points of your customers and share it with your technical team plays very crucial role because the success of your entire project is depend on the requirement which you take or understand from your customer and pass it to your technical team. Or we can simply say that clear and right requirements are the foundation of any project, technology integration, or product changeover in business. Eliciting specific and accurate requirements can ensure a project success and client satisfaction. Hence, requirement gathering is a key to successful project where missing and incomplete requirements leads to the project's failure. Generally, a business analyst is the person who gathers and analyzes the requirements from clients to fulfill clients' need. Now, tricky part is there are many requirement gathering techniques are available to gather requirement. Requirement gathering techniques varies project to project. You may find some requirements gathering techniques highly beneficial in one project but may not be beneficial in another project. So as a business analyst, you need to select right technique by considering its need, scenario, and the advantages it offers in project. Sometimes, as a business analyst, you need to use multiple techniques to gain a complete picture and baseline your requirements. Following are some of the top requirements gathering techniques. First is interview, another one is group interview, brainstorming, focus group, interface analysis, observation, requirement workshop, prototype, and reverse engineering. Interview is one of the most popular and most commonly used technique by business analysts. Business analysts ask various questions to client in order to understand the requirement. Face-to-face questions and answer sessions will be enable you to get into the mind of users. But if there are a lot of people who need to input, then it can be very time-consuming technique. So don't let it be the only way to gather those underlying requirements. It should be planned during the analysis phase of your project. It is always good to start with open-ended question to get the interviewee to start talking and then ask probing questions to uncover requirements. Here are some of the tips to keep in mind for conducting productive interviews. Very first, try to avoid yes or no type question because it is very difficult to understand the customer's problem with such an answer. Open-ended questions helps to get honest and insightful answers from customer. Always ask to explain with the example. Like, could you please explain your daily work in your module? Or you can ask what should happen if this is the way to detect missing requirements that haven't come up in the discussion. It is also a way to detect or to understand assumptions. Drill down to detail or pull up to higher level questions. Sometimes it may happen that people answers question differently than what you are expecting, or they may be focus minimum details or give very little details to you. In such a condition, ask more question that force them to think about the details. A very important thing is identify and talk with the right stakeholders to get the right detailed or relevant or insightful information. For example, if you want to know the system flow, how the system works, interviewing the manager may not be help you that much. But if you ask the team who actually uses the system, who actually works on the system, will give you more information. Record your session whenever possible so that you can review it after the interview. Also, this will help you to not remembering everything, but make sure that you take a permission before recording your sessions or interview. Share your questions with interviewee, so this will help respective gesture, plus also help to that person to prepare their answers, which will benefits team and project. Group interviews are similar with one-on-one interviews. Only the difference will be more than one stakeholder will be interviewed at the same time. Please make sure that when you take a group interview, you select right people with the same background or same designation or same role, who will be familiar with topics and areas of opportunity exist to lead you the better relevant understanding which will be useful for the project. In some brand new project, or if solution is not uncovered as much as they are discovered, in such scenario needs to be created as a set of ideas that people can agree to. Or sometimes when discussion need to be made and everyone has different views, brainstorming with a stakeholder will be the great way of capturing unstructured discussions. In brainstorming, you can gather as many as ideas as possible from many people to identify, categorize, assign tasks, opportunities, and potential solution very quickly. It is very important to take a notes during brainstorming session, but at the same time, don't get trapped of being only the note taker. You can let group use whiteboard. In brainstorming session, subject matter experts play very important role. SME can start creatively brainstorming session. What solution might look like? In short, brainstorming is used to identify all the possible solution and to simplify the details of opportunity. Focus group technique is used when your project is being delivered to customer who have specific views. Or we can say focus group is a gathering of people who are representative of the customer or a product to get a feedback. The feedback can be gathered about needs, opportunities, problems to identify requirements, or can be gathered to validate and refine already elicited requirements. This technique is different from brainstorming, in which it is managed processed with the particular participants. Interface analysis technique helps to create usable, effective, and popular software for client, group, or consumer. You can use this technique when you have access to the customer system, which they are already using. With this, you can review the human and artificial intelligence aspects, discovering how your customer uses the system and how the system internally works, which will help you to closely check what are your customers' requirement, what are their pain points, and which will help you to give a successful and satisfactory solution to your client. The study of users in their natural habits is what observation is all about. Observation helps to identify a process flow, pain points, and opportunities for improvement. There will be two types of observation. One will be passive observation, and another one is active observation. Passive observation provides better feedback to redefine requirements, like getting a feedback on prototype, where active observation works best for obtaining understanding over an existing business process. Best real life example of passive observation is what we do when we are watching TV. We sit back and let the images on screen entertain us. Active observation is like being in a classroom where you are learning things and taking notes. Requirement workshop, also known as joint application design session, or we can also say JAD session. It can be very effective technique for gathering requirements, but at the same time, it can be one of the difficult technique as it requires most planning and preparation. Business analysts have to be well prepared in order to plan agenda, timings, understanding of stakeholders, process understanding, and the current system knowledge. The responsibilities of a business analyst in this technique are discovering requirements, refining requirements, prioritizing requirements, and scoping requirements. In agile methodology, In agile methodology, user stories is the concept which aims to get everyone involved in the workshop, which includes developers to testers to users. In this methodology, or you can say in user stories, you can able to understand the role, uh, user's role, what they want to do, and what results they are expecting. So you can simply take example like user stories is in the form of as a user I want a feature so that or because a reason. So example is like as a user I want to log into the website so that I can able to access a dashboard. Prototyping will be the one of the best requirement gathering technique when there is a high risk of project failing or the success criteria is too vague. Sometimes prototype can be a bit expensive and time consuming. You can create prototype based on initial version of the outcome of brainstorming or group interviews to show client an early version of a workable solution. The client can then give more requirements or refine existing ones to advance the project. It is, you can say, it is a pre approach when stakeholders don't have a clear understanding of their requirements. In such a scenario, several different prototypes are constructed with the available requirements. It helps the client to understand the system and the further requirements. You will keep modifying the prototype until you have a final agreed prototype with baseline requirements with your client. Reverse engineering is helpful for a situation where you don't have enough documentation of an existing system, which restrict you to perform a document analysis, which restrict you to understand the current system. Reverse engineering will determine what system does. It will not determine what things went wrong in the current system, what system must do, or where its area of opportunity. Hence, it is helpful to use this technique alongside the another one technique. I hope this video helps you to understand requirement gathering techniques. If you like this video, hit the like button, share your thoughts and comments, subscribe to the channel, and don't forget to press bell icon to get a notification of our latest video. Take care, keep learning. Bye bye.